What is up, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite place to talk movies. I'm your host, Luce, and this is Real Talk Off Script. So today, I gave you guys a quick rundown of what Cinemacon is. I told you guys that this episode was going to be my full Cinemacon coverage. I did a lot of research, stayed up real late a bunch of days this past week to get all the information I could possibly get from all the different panels that it was showed this past week. So it's going to be a long episode. I warned you guys. This is going to be a lot of information I'm going to dump on y'all. We're going to talk about some of the movies I've already talked about in a couple of past episodes. A lot of those movies, as well as a whole bunch of other ones that I haven't even heard of, some of them. And some of them I didn't even think that they were talking about because it's a good year or two in the future. We're not even remotely close to these movies. But a lot of movies that I've already talked to you guys about, we learned way more about it in this past week. So I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown on almost everything that they talked about at Cinemacon. I really only wrote notes about the things that I was interested in and the things that I was interested in suggesting to you guys. Excuse me. So a lot of stuff that was talked about at Cinemacon, I'm probably not going to talk about it if it just didn't grab my ear or didn't get my attention like that. So I'm going to give you guys a real quick rundown of some movies. Some we're going to go more in depth to. Of course, it's going to be some of the heavy hitters that I'm going to break down a little more. But we're going to get into this. It's going to be a long one, so buckle up. Bear with your boy. But I'm gonna give y'all a lot of good information from what I heard this week. All right, so the very first panel, the first major panel, I should say, at Cinemacon this past week was Sony. And of course, we know Sony got some heavy hitters. That's where all your Spider-Man stuff is. And we're going to get into Resident Evil as well. But from what it sounds like, it looks like one of the first movies that they actually talked about was Spider-Man Brand New Day. Of course, a lot of us is excited for that movie. You know damn well I'm excited for it. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, so I was very excited to hear that that was one of the first things they talked about. And from what I'm hearing, it looks like they showed around 5 minutes of the movie. I don't think it was like a 5-minute scene or anything. It sounds like it was like different clips from different parts of the movie. They did break down one scene. It looks like it's a scene with Peter and Ned. And it sounds like Ned is of course, Ned doesn't remember Peter being Spider-Man. So now Spider-Man is just a guy literally swinging around the city or whatever. So he doesn't know that that's his old best friend from high school. But it looks like Ned created some kind of Spider-Man tracker. And he said he essentially created that so he can track down Spider-Man and meet him. Because he remembers Spider-Man saving his life in high school, but he doesn't obviously remember that was his best friend. So I guess he just wants to maybe track him down and maybe thank him or something like that. But apparently that was like an emotional scene. Just watching Ned explain to Peter, who he doesn't know is Spider-Man, everything that he does know about Spider-Man. And it's kind of funny because he told Peter, I'm creating a tracker. I'm going to track him down, try to find him, whatever. So I'm pretty sure that'd be a good scene. Sounds like they showed another scene where Peter sees MJ, which is his ex-girlfriend, who also doesn't remember him being Spider-Man. Or actually, now I'm thinking about it, I don't think they even remember Peter, period, in any way, shape, or form. So they're all meeting each other again for the first time. But of course, Peter still remembers them. So there's a scene where Peter sees MJ with her new boyfriend. And you can see how that, of course, would be an emotional thing for him because he's obviously still in love with her. But he can't be with her because she doesn't even know he exists. So I thought that was pretty interesting too. From what I'm hearing, they didn't show too much else. It looks like there was a scene where Spider-Man fights some police officers for whatever reason. Of course, Spider-Man is always, wanted by the cops, I guess you could say. So I'm sure that's probably something that they played into in that. I'm hearing there's not much else that they show from it. Like I said, they maybe showed like around roughly 5 minutes of the movie, which is a little surprising to me because like I keep saying, Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out in a couple of months and they only show 5 minutes at Cinemacon. That's kind of weird. But yeah, that seems to be everything that they showed for Spider-Man. So I don't really have too much else to add. I'm trying to think, was there anything else that they talked about for Spider-Man? I can't think of anything else, and that's all the notes that I wrote for it. I'm just hoping with this new Spider-Man movie, just from hearing the two scenes that they kind of touched on, I'm hoping they bring it back, reel it back a little bit, and kind of make it just a Spider-Man story, not like Doctor Strange is in it, or Nick Fury is in it, or Iron Man is in it. Just Spider-Man. I need more Spider-Man 2 kind of vibes. The Spider-Man 2 Sam Raimi, I should say, kind of vibes. And it sounds like they're going to touch on that from like the emotional scenes that they showed. I hope that's going to kind of tug on your heartstrings like Spider-Man 2 did back in the day. So moving on from Spider-Man Brand New Day, the next one that they talked about is a Resident Evil movie. So those of y'all who don't know what Resident Evil is, I don't know how the fuck you don't. by this time. I mean, it's been out for like damn near 30 years. But Resident Evil is a video game. It's a zombie video game. I think it's Capcom. Yeah, Capcom. But they're making another movie adaptation of Resident Evil. I'm hoping this one is actually good because I don't like the vast majority of Resident Evil movies. I think it's like 7 or 8 of them. If any of y'all are interested to check any of those out, I really only like one, and I think that was the one that they kind of made a movie about Resident Evil 3. I think it's Resident Evil Nemesis or whatever. And that one has Mike Epps in it. And I'm a big Mike Epps fan. So, I mean, if he in it and it's Resident Evil, you put those two together, I'm going to check it out. So that was one of the ones that I like. But the majority of the other ones that I have seen, I didn't like them in any way, shape, or form. I feel like they're way too different from the game. It just doesn't give you the same feeling of the game. And I'm saying all that because from what I heard and what they talked about at Cinemacon is this movie is supposed to be, I wouldn't say as close to the video game as they can get from what they explained. It sounds like they just try to get it closer to the video games, which is cool with me. Because like I keep saying, the last ones, it just was too, they turned everybody into superheroes, and that's really not what Resident Evil was from the jump. I know like Resident Evil 5, they're like literally punching boulders with their bare fist and moving them and stupid shit like that. Which is cool. I mean, it was funny at the time, but the movies was doing that way before the games got to it. So that's why it kind of turned a lot of us Resident Evil fans off. But from what I'm hearing, it looks like they're trying to get this one as close to the video games as they possibly could get, or a little closer, I should say. But I actually listened to somebody else break down the footage of what they saw, and they're also a big Resident Evil fan, and they said that they didn't think it was close enough to the video game. So I'm still hesitant about this. I'll check it out whenever it does release. I don't remember if they gave a release date for this. So I don't know if this is this year or next. I feel like it may be maybe this year, so I may have to go look at that again. But excuse me. Yeah, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like they want to get closer to the game, but I heard somebody that said it wasn't close enough to the game, and they're a big Resident Evil fan, so I don't know. But that's what we got for Resident Evil. So moving on to the next movie that they talked about that I was interested in was one that I've never even heard of or heard about. So this one is called Grand Gear, like Grand Theft Auto, and then gear, like a gear in a car. It's called Grand Gear. Apparently, it's a new kaiju movie. If y'all don't know what a kaiju is essentially just any giant monster. Sorry. They put it in the kaiju umbrella. So Godzilla is a kaiju. King Kong is a kaiju. King Ghidorah, Rodan. Those are all kaiju. You just got to be a big ass monster, and then you'll be a kaiju. But essentially, it's a movie where kaijus fight big ass robots. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like something that ever came out before? Yeah, it sounds like Pacific Rim to me, but that's cool. Shit, if we can't get another Pacific Rim because the last one kind of, bottomed out, I'll take it. And I think the director who directed Godzilla Minus One, and I don't know if he directed Minus Zero as well. I'm sure he probably did. But anyway, the director that did Godzilla Minus One is actually working on this film. That's enough to get me on board for it. Sign me the fuck up. I don't think this movie's coming out this year. I think this one, it might be one of the 2028ers, because I know we get Godzilla Minus Zero later this year. So I don't think that this one is coming out. I don't know. I have to do some research on that one too. I don't think I remember hearing a release date for this one. But man, you talking about giant monsters fighting robots, bro, sign me up. I don't need to hear nothing else. I'm gonna be there. And they didn't show any footage from it because I don't even think it started filming yet. But I think they showed like maybe pictures or concept art or something to get the audience in kind of like a feel of what to expect from this movie. So man, hey, sign me up. So that one was Grand Gear. So the next one, we're moving on to Zelda. Zelda is also a video game movie that they're doing a video game movie they're doing an adaptation of. Same thing. But it's a video game that they're doing a movie adaptation of. Unlike Mario and Super Mario Galaxy, this one is live action. So this is not an animated movie. For whatever reason, they didn't have any footage or pictures for this movie, which is weird as hell because they started filming this movie a long time ago. And actually, when they started filming, like the same week that they started filming, they had pictures then. So them not having pictures now is really weird. I don't understand that move, especially with Mario just coming out the last couple of weeks and the movie being as popular as it is, and it's still bringing in buku money at the box office. I would think you want to kind of follow that up and follow all the hype up with another IP like Zelda. Zelda's like a big. I've never played any of the Zelda games. I've literally only played with Link and Super Smash Brothers. That's where it goes for me. But I know how ravenous the fans of the Zelda series is, and I know for sure if you would have put something out, like a clip or something, you would have got people excited for this a little bit more. Like I said, Cinemacon is they make cinema well not make Cinemacon, but they put on Cinemacon every year to get the studio owners hype for a movie, so they can kind of know how to market it to the fans and get people to come to the theaters. A movie this big, come on, man, why you didn't put something out? Like put something out to the fans so they can get excited too, but they didn't for whatever reason. Only thing I can think of is maybe they're banking on the name of Zelda, the Zelda series alone, and that's not always a good bet. But hey, I know this movie is still a little ways out. I think it does. I think it comes out May next year, next May. And CinemaCon, it was in April this year. It's probably gonna be around April next year. So I'm assuming like they're gonna go a little more harder on the, advertisement and all that stuff next year. But we'll see. So that's Zelda. So the next one we get into is oddly enough another video game adaptation. This one is Helldivers. I know it's a lot of big Helldivers fans out there. I was interested in playing the game. I'm an Xbox owner. I don't have PlayStation, so I got we got the game way later than everybody else. I think it just came out for Xbox like last September or something like that. But it's essentially like a game where it's these specialized armed forces kind of SEAL Team 6 futuristic soldiers, and they fight like giant bugs. So that's pretty much the gist of the game. Everything that I've seen like from the gameplay, that's literally all you do. You just go around and shoot bugs and kill big ass alien bugs, which is enough for me. That's enough to get me on board. But now they're making a movie for it. It looks like Jason Momoa is casted as a lead in this movie, which is cool. I mean, we always look at him as like the dude bro action guy, so it makes sense. I want to say Jason Momoa actually came on stage for that one. I could be wrong. I know he came on stage for one movie for CinemaCon. I think it was maybe Helldivers. If not, it was probably Dune or something like that. But I think he was on stage for that one. I don't think they had any pictures, any concept art, or anything like that. They probably only just had the logo up on the big screen, and that's about it. Because this movie has not started filming yet, so it's really not much to show anybody. I think this is just them coming out and just saying, hey, we actually are working on the Helldivers movie, so all the fans of the game can go ahead and get excited for that. I haven't played the game yet, like I said, so I'm excited for it either way. Just from the gameplay I've seen, I'm sure that shit is going to be pretty good to see on the big screen as well. So I'm hyped, even though I haven't even played the game. So that was Helldivers. So moving on from Helldivers, we got The Social Reckoning. For y'all who don't know what The Social Reckoning is, The Social Reckoning is a sequel of The Social Network, which is the Facebook movie that they did, I think in like 2010 or something like that? But bruh, that movie is fucking phenomenal, amazing. That's like one of the best. Like, I don't know if it's technically considered a biopic, or just I don't know what you would label it as. But bruh, if it is a biopic, that's like one of the best ones to watch. Like I cannot suggest The Social Network enough. If you have not seen that movie, go out and see it. So The Social Reckoning is a sequel for that. Apparently, from what I'm hearing, that was like the best part of Sony's panel is showing The Social Reckoning footage. Apparently it was like really good. They didn't have like an actual trailer cut up, so I'm assuming they just showed different clips of the movie or whatever the case may be. But from what I heard even before CinemaCon, The Social Reckoning isn't like a direct sequel. Like it doesn't pick up right where The Social Network ends. I think this one picks up maybe like a decade in the future from where The Social Network ends, or give or take 10 years. So I'm damn sure excited for that one. I cannot wait. I did not get a release date for that one, so I don't know. I don't think this is, well, it might have been, if they show footage, it might be a movie that's coming out this year. So I'm definitely going to have to go back and look at that one as well. I just don't have it on hand right now. But if they say The Social Reckoning, the footage that they showed was like the best part of the Sony panel, I think that's saying a lot, because we got Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse footage shown. We got Spider-Man Brand New Day shown. If they saying this is like even better than what they showed from those two, bro, hey, I'm gonna be there, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see this one. So moving on from The Social Reckoning, then we get on to what I just talked about, which is Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So it sounds like the footage that they showed for this, also it wasn't a trailer, it was just footage from the movie. So the footage that they showed for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, it looks like the movie literally picks up exactly where the last one ends. Like literally, you could turn on the last one, where it ends, start the new one. It flows like a river. So they said it was pretty good. I don't know if they put like a time frame on how much footage was shown. And I'm not the biggest Spider-Verse fan like everybody else is, but I do 100% enjoy the movies. The first one, I was like, I don't get the hype like y'all get it. It's definitely good, but it's not like the best shit since Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's. But the second one kind of raised my antennas a little bit, and I was like, hold on, this shit is pretty good. So I'm definitely excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse. I didn't get a lot of details from what I was hearing about like the actual footage they shown, like what's going on, but they did put out a couple of pictures online. It looks like Miles. It's like one picture with his dad, and the picture that they show, I don't know, bro just might bite the bullet. I don't know. I don't think they'll put out a picture that emotional looking without something drastic happening to the dad. So I don't know. I'm kind of feeling for my boy. He might. I don't know. But they put out that picture. I think they put out I can't remember. Did they put out one of the villain of the last movie? Because I think it was only 3 pictures they put out, but for what I'm hearing, they didn't show like a trailer, like I said. They just put out some pictures online and just roughly talked about the movie. And they maybe even talked about why it took so damn long to get the sequel. Because I think the last one came out like 2022 or something like that. It's 2026. That movie made a shit ton of money. Why we didn't get this way before then? But that's Beyond the Spider-Verse. Like I said, I don't have much to add because I'm not the biggest fan of the Spider-Verse films. I do like them. Not the biggest fan. So I wasn't too excited for this one. But I know y'all would probably want to hear about it. That's why I'm reporting on it now. So moving on from Beyond the Spider-Verse, the last one that we're going to talk about, now I'm looking at it, this is the last one for the Sony show. And that was the new Jumanji movie. Once again, I don't give a damn about the new Jumanji movies, like, at all. The first one with, what's my guy's name? Robin Williams. That one is, like, goated. Like, that's, like, one of the best movies for kids that I can remember. Like, I was hoping, even the I don't know if you want to call it a sequel, but there's a third movie as well. After that was pretty good too. But I didn't really hear too much. They put out a new trailer for it, and I was like, okay, I'm not really, I don't care. I won't say they put out a new trailer, but they showed a new trailer. And I don't really care. I know it's a really popular movie. The Jumanji movies make a shit ton of money, believe it or not. I was surprised to see that as well, but they always rake in a lot of money. And I think this one, they pushed the release date back. I know that one was supposed to come out December 11th, which I told you guys. And it looks like this one comes out, I think, Christmas Day, if I remember right. So I'm pretty sure whatever trailer they showed at the show, we'll probably be getting that soon. Even though it may be a little ways out for the first trailer, because like I said, the movie doesn't come out till December, around Christmas time. So it might be too soon to put out a trailer, because people may forget about it. But it looks like they just showed some footage for that, and it was pretty good. And that's all I really got to report on for Jumanji. Like I said, I figured you guys may want to hear about it because it makes a shit ton of money. So that's moving on from Jumanji. So that ends the Sony panel. Like I said, the highlight for me from just hearing everything about that one was probably Spider-Man Brand New Day. Because that's probably, out of the whole Sony panel, probably the one that I'm excited about the most, if not Social Reckoning. So that was definitely, something that raised my little antennas. And I was excited to hear that. But that's everything for the Sony panel. So now we're going to move on to Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers, they actually started their panel with a movie called Digger. So Digger is starring Tom Cruise. Apparently they only showed about 5 minutes of the movie roughly. It's starring Tom Cruise. It has John Goodman in it as well. And it looks like he's playing a president in that movie. But essentially the movie is about, I guess he's like a rich oil tycoon. And his company, like, I guess, of course, they drill oil, and they drilled in like the wrong part of the earth, and it starts like this crazy like ecological breakdown all throughout the world just because they drilled in that one spot. And apparently John Goodman is saying like, hey, Tom Cruise, you fucked it up. You and your company fucked it up, so bro, you gotta fix it. I don't care how you get it done, but get that shit done because this is your problem. And I saw the trailer for this, I think maybe last year, and it's like a quick like teaser, so you don't really, I think it's like Tom Cruise with like a shovel or some shit like that, so you have like literally no fucking clue what the movie is about. So now that I'm hearing more about it from Cinemacon, I was already excited before. That took me way over the edge for it. I can't wait for it. And I think they're saying like Tom Cruise is putting on like all kind of prosthetics, and like he's supposed to be like an 80-year-old dude or some shit like that. So I'm excited for it. I know I haven't talked about it yet, on any of the pods, giving you guys like a rundown of what I thought about it. But now they talked about it at Cinemacon, I figured I'd give you guys a heads up to be on the lookout for Digger. And I think, if I remember right, I think this one comes out October. I think this one comes out like October time, so we're not too far off. It's not close, but we'll be getting out in this year. So moving on from Digger, we moving on to another movie that I've already told you guys about. They just showed more of it at Cinemacon, but The End of Oak Street. That's the Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor movie that I was telling you guys about. I think it was last pod if I remember right, but I heard they didn't show too much more from what they actually showed in the trailer that we all saw. I'm hearing it didn't show too much more at CinemaCon, which I was kind of upset about. I figured that, like I said to you guys, I feel like that first trailer was so good that a lot of people would be interested in it and probably want to hear more about it. But unfortunately, they didn't talk too much about it. They showed like a tad bit extra from what they already showed in the first trailer. So it's not too much to talk about for The End of Oak Street, and I don't think any of the cast came out on stage to talk about it. Like I said, this is more so just giving the theater owners at CinemaCon a more so, I guess, good idea of what this movie is roughly going to be about. That's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. I understand they're not going to go in depth with all these movies. I just figured they would a little bit more for The End of Oak Street. So moving on from that, we got Mortal Kombat 2. I'm hearing they showed about 5 to 7 minutes of the movie at CinemaCon, and from what I hear, it wasn't really hitting like it was supposed to, which is also unfortunate because I'm really excited for the Mortal Kombat 2 movie. More so than I was for the first. The first one I was like, it's cool, I'll check it out. And I don't think it was that good. I still prefer the first Mortal Kombat movie from the 90s, and I know it's shitty, so don't kill me. It's a shitty movie, I get it. But I was hoping that this one would be more so of like the one from the 1990s, but from what I'm hearing, the 5 to 7 minutes didn't really get that big of a pull, which I'm kind of let down by. I'm still excited for the movie. I'm still interested. I'm still 100% gonna be in the house for that one. I love Mortal Kombat, so I'm gonna be there regardless. But from what I'm hearing, the 5 to 7 minutes that they showed, it just wasn't hitting like that. But that's all for Mortal Kombat 2. So now we're gonna move on to Clayface. I also told you guys about Clayface, and I told you this one might be a dark horse for one of the movies that may make a decent amount of money this year. I don't think it's gonna be 500 million or nothing like that, but I think it's gonna be one of those movies with a smaller budget that may make way more money than they may anticipate. But from what I'm hearing like, I told you guys this is like a body horror movie. They said they wasn't playing with the body horror. They kept, everybody who I heard talk about the CinemaCon footage that they showed for Clayface kept talking about this one scene. There's like a scene where the main character is like in a bathtub, they say, and I guess he's just going through it. I mean, if y'all know the character of Clayface, it don't sound like a pleasant experience to be that dude. But it says he's laying in the bathtub, and I guess he's just like stretching out, just like pulling on his hair or whatever, and like just rubbing on his face. And they say like when he starts to actually rub on his face, like you could see like his whole face like just sliding down through his hand, and like it's like a weird like eerie thing to see. And which that's kind of what I was hoping when I heard this is a body horror movie. Just knowing the Clayface character, he can kind of like morph himself into all different kind of shapes and sizes and people or whatever the case may be. And just some of the body horrors movies that I've seen, like kind of like The Thing or something like that, you can see how gross and like it just makes you feel weird, make you just feel dirty. Like that's what I'm hoping to get from Clayface, and from the footage that they showed, it sounded like they hit the mark. So man, I'm excited for that one. Once again, that's another DC movie. For y'all who don't know, it's not just like a normal book character. He's a Batman villain. So he's getting his own movie. I think it's going to be similar to like what they did with the Joker. The first one, that is, because the second Joker was a little But I think it's going to be more so similar to the first Joker, kind of being like a character study, but also being a body horror movie. So that's cool with me. So I'm excited for that one. So we're going to move on from Clayface and move on to what they show for Supergirl. Supergirl, I think, comes out in 2 months, I want to say. I think 2 months. They didn't show much for that one either. They showed there's like a quick fight scene on a bus, like a galactic bus. I don't know if this is fucking Miss Frizzle's bus or some shit. But yeah, they flew in outer space somehow on this big bus with a bunch of aliens, from what they say. And I guess the bus gets hijacked by like some space pirates or whatever. And they get into like a big fight with Supergirl. And from what I'm hearing, the scene didn't really hit the mark either. But once again, I don't care. I love Supergirl just like I love Superman. I'll be there. Can't wait for this one. Like I said, it just showed like a quick little fight scene, and that was pretty much about it. I wasn't expecting another trailer because I think we just got one like 3 weeks ago or something like that. We just got a trailer. So I was hoping that they would show more footage at Cinemacon so they could, the people who were there could break it down for us who wasn't. But they just showed like a quick little fight scene and that was it. And from what I'm hearing, that fight scene wasn't really all that. So that's a little weird to me. I thought they would have came with their best. But I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, the movie comes out in 2 months, so I'm sure we're probably gonna get at least two more trailers. I think we have two now. That means we're probably gonna get two more. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I can really talk about for Supergirl. Wasn't really much that they showed. So moving on from Supergirl, we're moving on to one of the heavy hitters. We're moving on to one of the big dogs, one of the big boys this year, and that's Dune 3. Dune 3. I keep telling y'all this is gonna be one of them ones, and from what I'm hearing, bruh, the footage that they showed, I've heard people say for the whole week of CinemaCon, Dune 3 had the best footage. And that's saying a lot, because we all know some of the big movies that's coming out this year, like Avengers and the Odyssey and all that. From what I heard, it ain't sniffing what they showed to do for Dune 3. So let's just get down to a little breakdown of what they actually did and showed. So from what I'm hearing, how that part of the show happened. For any of y'all that have seen any of the Dune movies, the Fremen, like the big, I guess, like I don't really know the coalition. I don't know what you want to call them, the army guys, whatever, the ones that go to war all the goddamn time. That's like they had like 60 people come out in full Fremen costumes, like running through the aisles and all that shit to run up on stage, and it was like a whole show from what they said. So after that, like Denis Villeneuve, who was the director of all the Dune movies, he comes out and he pretty much says that which I already knew, that this Dune Part 3 is the end not only of the trilogy but like the whole series as it is. Like I told y'all, there's a shit ton of Dune books. He's not adapting any of the other ones after this one. So Dune 3 is going to be the last one in the trilogy, and that's just going to be it. From what he said that the last one is more so of a war movie, which was Dune 2. This one is more of a thriller. And from what I'm hearing, that kind of goes back and forth for what I heard, because if the last one was a war movie, they said that this one is the most action-packed of all the three. So that's kind of like, okay, so the last one was this, but this one was a thriller? Whatever. So if you put a thriller with a big action movie and then you add the Dune franchise into it, bro, that sounds like something that we all gonna want to see. They showed about 8 minutes of the movie, which was surprising to me. I didn't think they would show anything. I thought they would just kind of, add a little bit more onto the trailer that we already got. But it says they showed like a full 8 minutes. Like it's like a war scene where like fucking troops come from like out of space and like come down into the atmosphere, and then it's just like immediately from what how did one of the people break it down? What did they say? I think they said it was Dune meets Saving Private Ryan. Like that first scene in Saving Private Ryan where they storm the beach. And it just goes fucking crazy after that for y'all who have seen that movie. So imagine that, but then the Dune franchise. And if I'm remembering correctly, excuse me, there's a scene in the trailer where like there's people, it looks like they're storming like some kind of base or something like that, and there's like these big turrets that come up out of the ground and just start spraying the fuck out of everybody that's running up. I'm assuming that is the footage that they showed. So if y'all seen that trailer, it looks like it's just expounding on that scene, which is enough for me. Like just hearing people break down what they saw, that shit blew my fucking mind. Like I can't. I'm trying to visualize everything that they were saying, and like I was just getting so excited for this movie, y'all. I can't lie. So Dune 3, you already know that's one of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most. And from what people are saying, it's the best footage shown all week. So take that however y'all want to take it. That's just what I'm hearing. I wasn't there, of course, so I can't say. But I've heard multiple people say that during the whole week, that's the best footage that they showed. So that pretty much ends everything that they talked about for Warner Brothers, at least all the big dogs and the stuff that I feel like I should probably tell you guys about. So moving on from Warner Brothers, we're gonna move into Universal. So Universal did have, I won't say majority smaller movies, but they weren't as big as what Sony and Warner Brothers may show. So I'm gonna just let y'all know that beforehand. But one of the first movies that they talked about, which is a little interesting to me to say the least, is a Snoop Dogg biopic. I even wrote in my notes, I was like, okay, question mark, like a Snoop Dogg biopic? All right, I didn't know people was asking for that, but okay. Apparently Snoop Dogg came out on stage himself and did like a little music montage, like all his greatest hits. And I think he may have even said, I don't know if it was him and maybe somebody else that was on stage with him, But it sounds like he pretty much went into a music montage and then pretty much said that all the movie. Oh, I'm sorry, not all the movies. All the music that I just talked about is gonna be in the movie. So I'm assuming it's maybe like Doggy Style Chronic Snoop era. I don't know if it goes all the way down, up until like now, modern time Snoop. I don't really know, but that's all they really talked about. And they also said it's more of like a spiritual successor to Straight Outta Compton, which, in my humble opinion, I think that's like the best music biopic, at least out of all the ones that I've seen. I've seen a good amount of them. That's like my favorite one by far. I think they did the characters pretty good. I don't know if they're gonna get, and I can't think of my boy's name right now. He was in Get Out. He was also in excuse me. He was also in The Roof Man recently, but I cannot think of my dog name right now. But he plays Snoop Dogg in the Straight Outta Compton movie. I don't know if they're gonna get him again. I don't know if they're gonna recast. I don't know, but apparently this movie hasn't started filming yet, or whatever the case may be. I don't even know if they started casting this movie yet, but just know that it's coming. We getting a fucking Snoop Dogg biopic, y'all. It is what it is. So moving on from the Snoop Dogg biopic thing, then we move on to the Odyssey. Now the Odyssey is another one of the heavy hitters, kind of like Dune 3. They, from what it sounds like, I don't know if y'all know or not, but before some of the IMAX showings for certain films that's coming out this year, they show like a good, I think, I don't want to lie to y'all, but I think it's a good like maybe 10 minutes, which is like a prelude for the Odyssey. They show like a full 10 minutes of the movie to people that went to see certain IMAX showings. I think this is last year, and they're probably still doing it now, but from what I'm hearing, it's just like a add-on to what they already showed to people who saw it. I haven't seen this prelude footage. I'm jealous as fuck of everybody else who actually has seen it, because they keep talking about how good it is and how good it looks. But yeah, some of y'all have already seen even more than me on the Odyssey, and apparently whatever they showed at Cinemacon is just more of an extension of that. So take that however you will. But it looks like Christopher Nolan was there. He talked about, like the power and the importance of cinema and the cinema experience. And he went on to say that they actually even made, or I should say invented, a brand new IMAX camera specifically for this movie, just to shoot this movie. So I don't know if this is something that they're going to, IMAX is going to use moving forward, or this is like a new technology, or I don't know if they just did this specifically just for this movie. But that's what Christopher Nolan said. He said he actually met with IMAX, sat down with him, had all kind of talks just to invent this camera. And I've actually seen a little bit of footage of him filming this movie with that camera. I didn't know it was a new camera, but I did see it, and I was like, I've never seen an IMAX camera look like that before. But that explains it. They created their whole new shit for this, so that got me even more hype. But once again, like I said, I live in, smaller town, I should say, and we don't really have true IMAX films, not films, but theaters here. So I don't know. I might have to try to make that drive. I'm gonna have to try to buy a ticket off a scalper, because all the IMAX tickets are already sold out. But once I heard that they made a new camera just to shoot this movie, I'm like, fuck. I gotta find a way to find a IMAX screen somewhere to see this movie, because that got me way more interested in it once I heard that. Like I said, there's not much else that they showed. It was all just an extension of the stuff that probably some of y'all have already seen in theaters. Which is another thing I was a little curious about. I would have thought that, with this being one of the bigger movies that's coming out this year, probably like one of the 3 biggest movies that's probably gonna come out this year, I would have thought they would have showed something that people haven't really seen before. You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. No, there was a little bit extra. For y'all who have seen the trailer, the Trojan horse, of course, historically, was something that's going to be in this movie, in the Odyssey. And it looks like that scene, they showed like an extended reel of that scene, extended even more so from what they may have shown in the theaters and what's in the trailer. So that sounds interesting. And seeing that part in the trailer definitely was like, yeah, I can't wait to see the Trojan horse scene. So it looks like they showed a little bit, like a tad bit more of that. But other than that, there was nothing else that was new. So that's moving on from the Odyssey. I was a little underwhelmed by that, because it's one of the big movies. Like I said, I thought they just would have went a little more into detail about it, but it didn't. So moving on from the Odyssey, then we move on to Violent Night 2. I hope y'all know what Violent Night is. If y'all don't, it's essentially, I can't even say a Christmas version, because Die Hard is, some people say it's a Christmas movie. I don't. But it's like Die Hard, but take out John McClane and insert fucking Santa Claus. I know it sounds crazy. I know that shit sound crazy, bro, but take out John McClane, put in Santa Claus, and that's what Violent Night is, the first one. It's essentially Santa Claus trying to survive in a house full of crooks and robbers and all that shit. They're trying to like shoot him and stab him and all that other stuff. And he fucking them up. It's like John Wick, but he's Santa Claus. He was fucking them up. So we're getting a Violent Night 2 this year. I cannot explain to y'all how excited I am. That's one of my new favorite Christmas movies. Like as far as the newer movies that's come out, I fucking love Violent Night. It has David Harbour, who y'all know is Hopper, or I don't remember his name, but he's also in the Thunderbolts. What is his name? I can't think of it right now. But yeah, so he's like a big ass like burly Santa Claus. He ain't to be fucked with. And you see that in the movie. So apparently we're getting a sequel from what I heard even before Cinemacon. I think this time he's not going to be in a house. He's in like a shopping mall, I think. And essentially, somehow, some way, he ends up on a naughty list. We don't know how. But Santa Claus himself ends up on a naughty list. I think they even he says in the film, like, oh, I guess it's because I killed so many people in the last movie or whatever. So he ends up on the naughty list. And I think there's like some mercenaries that got like a hit out on him. And apparently if they find him and kill him, like they get like some kind of reward or some shit like that. So you can see how shit could get hectic if I told you this Santa Claus is not to be fucked with. And people trying to fuck with him. So that pretty much gives you the synopsis of Violent Night 2. That's another one I'm excited for, and they showed a little bit of that at the Universal panel. So moving on from Violent Night 2, now we have Falker-in-Law. For y'all that don't know what Falker-in-Law is, it's a sequel to like Meet the Falkers and Meet the Parents and all that shit. I'm not the biggest fan of any of the movies after Meet the Parents. Meet the Parents is one of my favorite rom-coms. I didn't put it on my Mount Rushmore in the last show because I told y'all how much I love rom-coms. I didn't put it on my Mount Rushmore, but it definitely is in my top 5. It just didn't make the 4. Y'all know how Mount Rushmore is. But for sure, Meet the Parents is one of my favorite rom-coms to ever be made. And that's all the sequels that they made, like Meet the Falkers and this one, The Falker-in-Law. I've seen them all. None of them come remotely fucking close to Meet the Parents, but they all have been at least entertaining, to say the least. So this one I'll probably go out and see, just to see if they can hopefully maybe get back to some of the magic that Meet the Parents was. But this one actually stars Ariana Grande. I think she is the daughter-in-law of one of the kids from like Meet the Falkers, if I remember correctly. I don't really remember hearing people talk too much about it. Apparently whatever the footage that they showed was pretty good. I'll be the judge of that shit when I go see the movie, because like I just said, none of the sequels have come remotely close to Meet the Parents. I feel like they swayed too far from the rom/romantic side of the rom-com and just went full comedy, and I think that's why they kind of lost some of the magic. I'm hoping this one kind of gets more into the rom-com, not just comedy. But we'll see. Like I said, the footage that was shown, people said it was pretty good. Like I said, I'll be the judge of that when the movie comes out. And if you guys are interested, from maybe you've seen Meet the Parents, you might be interested in Falker-in-Law. But we'll see when we get like at least a trailer so we can kind of break that down. So moving on from Falker-in-Law, now we have another big one that I'm excited for. And I've told you guys about a bunch of times. And I also told them they need to get their shit together in the last pod to get people interested for this one. At least more so than they already are. That's Disclosure Day. They finally talked about Disclosure Day. I heard they showed some new footage. It looks like from the footage and from what people are saying, it's way more action in it than a lot of people expected from what they said. I heard about even one scene where there was like a fighter jet flying next to like this big ass UFO in the atmosphere. It's like a big triangular UFO. They said like a fighter jet is flying up on it. I don't know if it's just like to detail it or like kind of just talk about it. I don't know if they're gonna shoot at it. I don't know. I don't know if we're getting like an Independence Day type of vibes. I don't know if it's just like he going up there just to see what the fuck. I don't know. But they say like it was a crazy scene with a fighter jet and a UFO, and that got me a little excited. Like I said, I told y'all in the last episode that this one needed a little bit more to get people on board. And they say this is like they showed footage and they showed a new trailer. And from what I'm hearing, from what they say the new trailer nailed it. Like I don't know when we're gonna get this. The movie is coming out, and I always get it confused. I don't know if I think it's June. It's either June 16th or July 16th. I want to say June. So we're getting this soon. So whatever trailer that they showed at Cinemacon, I'm expecting this one to come out in maybe like the next 2 to 3 weeks, this trailer. So like I said last week, they need to tighten the fuck up, figure it the fuck out. I told y'all. Hopefully this trailer did nail it like they said at Cinemacon, but hey, I don't know. We'll see. So that was another one that I was excited for. And that was another one that it looked like they went all in on, because I think they know, like I know, and I told y'all that they gotta do a little bit better with the marketing to get a lot of people, just the average Joe Schmo, more excited for this movie. Because Spielberg is not enough. He came out on stage, which was odd. I didn't know that he's never been to Cinemacon, but that's what they said. This is Spielberg's first Cinemacon, and he was there. Like I said, this movie, they need to do something, because I'm still, even at the Cinemacon, not hearing the pop that I feel like this movie may deserve. So I'm hoping this trailer, whenever we get it, is really fucking good. Just as good as everybody says it is. So we'll see. So that pretty much sums up Disclosure Day, and that also sums up the Universal panel. Moving on from that, then we have Amazon and MGM. We had their panel. It's not a lot of movies for this one at all that I felt like talking about. It's really, honestly, just two. I don't know I don't know which one I want to talk about first. Let's just get into the Masters of the Universe, because I talked about that one recently as well. So I don't know if y'all do know or not, but the Masters of the Universe, that movie is under MGM and Amazon. I told y'all once again they need to tighten it up, figure it the fuck out, because I'm not hearing the pop on the internet. I'm not hearing the excitement for it. I'm very excited to see Masters of the Universe. I keep telling y'all, I would suggest it. Just off everything that I've heard about the movie, I know the trailers haven't been as good as they could be. Everything I've heard about the movie so far is like, well, I don't know if this is being hyperbolic or not, but this is what I heard on the internet. They said that the Barbie movie, as far as how good that movie is, expect that level of care being put into the Masters of the Universe. However the fuck y'all want to take that. That's just what I heard. Once I heard something like that, and that was before the trailers even came out, I was like, okay, well, if they handle it just as good as they handled the Barbie movie, and this is Masters of the Universe, we may be in for a good time. Then the trailers came out, and that kind of got me a little iffy. But from what I'm hearing, from the shit that they showed at the Cinemacon show, the footage won over the audience. I don't know what that means, but from whatever they showed, and they didn't say like specifically like this is a new trailer that we saw. Like I guess it just showed them footage from the film. From whatever they showed them, it sounded like they won the audience over. So that I could wipe some sweat off my forehead with that one. I told y'all last week that they need to get it together, because I just wasn't hearing the excitement other than people that was into the toy, when we were all kids, or maybe watched the cartoon like I did when we were kids. Those are the only people that's really talking about this movie on the internet. So I'm hoping whatever they showed at CinemaCon, they'll maybe put out to some of the fans, maybe a new trailer, maybe some pictures, whatever the case may be, to get people a little more excited for it. But from, like I said, what I heard, it sounds like that footage won the audience over. So, like I said, there's only two movies from this panel that I'm going to talk about. The next one, oddly enough, is a movie called The Sheep Detectives. The Sheep Detectives is literally exactly what the fuck it sounds like. It's sheep and they're detectives. But apparently, like the gist of the movie is they're I don't know if you want to call it sheep herder or whatever you want to call them, whatever that profession is. But the guy that watches over the goddamn sheep, the shepherd, I guess you want to call him. Apparently, every night before he goes to bed, he goes out and reads murder mysteries and shit like that, like books to the sheep. And somehow he ends up getting murdered. And the sheep, of course, they can talk. Of course, I don't know if they're anthropomorphic, so I don't know if they can talk to humans or this is just us hearing them talk to themselves or whatever. But the sheep can fucking talk, so they think and they take it upon themselves to try to figure out who murdered their owner, because they've read or been read so many murder mystery books and shit. I know how crazy this shit sounds, and I saw this trailer before. I think it was You, Me, and Tuscany, or maybe another movie. But they showed that trailer before the movie, and at first when the trailer started, I'm like, bro, this look dumb as fuck. What? Sheep detectives? What? Huh? But as the trailer went on, I was like, hey, this shit look kind of good. And so I'm excited for it. And apparently the footage that they showed at CinemaCon, it got a good reaction from the crowd too. So that made me even more excited. I may talk about that one in another show just to get you guys a little more excited about it and give you more information. But the Sheep Detectives, I'm gonna be there when that shit come out. I'm excited for that one. So that ends up, what I thought was interesting from the Amazon and MGM panel. So moving on from that one, the last one. This is the last panel. This is the big dog. This is everybody bow down and let's see what the fuck we gotta talk about. And that's Disney. So the Disney panel apparently went all the way the fuck out. So the first one we're going to talk about from Disney is The Devil Wears Prada 2. From what I'm hearing, the movie going to be big. Duh. I keep telling y'all. The movie going to be fucking big. It's going to be massive. They showed a little bit from the movie, some stuff that we haven't already seen in the trailers. But I want to say we've even gotten 3 or 4 trailers. I know they put out one recently, like I think in like maybe even like the last week for The Devil Wears Prada 2, and I haven't seen a bad trailer yet. Um, I was thinking about not saying this, but this is just what I'm heard from people who are actually at Cinemacon. But from what I heard The Devil Wears Prada 2 got even a bigger reaction from the audience than Doomsday did. Avengers Doomsday. Like I said, once again, take that however y'all want to take it. That's what I heard from people who are actually in the audience. So I ain't even got to go too much more into detail about Devil Wears Prada. I've talked about that ad nauseum. I've told y'all how I feel. I told y'all I'm excited for it. I told y'all I'll be there. Movie actually now, I think, shit, does it come out next week? It might just come out next week. If not next week, then the following week. But it's right around the corner. So I'm gonna move on from The Devil Wears Prada 2 and then go on to another movie that I told y'all need to get their shit together and figure it out as far as a marketing term. And this is the Mando and Grogu. Apparently, they showed the full first 17 minutes of the movie. So literally where the movie starts and until the 17-minute mark, they show all of it. I figured they would do something like that because like I said in the last episode, this is a movie that they know. I think Disney knows for sure if they don't figure it out and figure it out quick, the movie is going to lose a shit ton of money. So I was not surprised at all. I actually thought that they would show the full film because I don't know if some of y'all know, but every now and then, depending on which panel it is, they'll show like the audience like a full movie, like from start to finish. I'm trying to think. I think the movie's called Black Mirror. I know it's a horror movie. What's the guy's name? I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but yeah, I think they showed like that full movie like way before it came out. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, they actually showed a full movie for this Cinemacon. I just can't remember the name of it, but every now and then they'll show like a full movie. Like I'm saying, I'm rambling, but I thought they would have did that for the Mando and Grogu. They didn't, but they showed 17 minutes, which is kind of along the lines of what I thought they would do. If they didn't show the full movie, then they would just show a shit ton to get the theater owners, finally on board. We're like, okay, this is going to be one of the ones y'all gonna want to market this and get people to come out to the theater to see it. So they showed the first 17 minutes. I heard it was pretty good. They actually put out a new trailer online for us, the fans, as well. And I'll say, I watched the trailer. Finally, I can say I think y'all hit the mark. I think this one is the one that's going to get people excited. And it definitely got me way more excited. I know I talked a lot of shit in the last episode, and I was saying I hope they come with it. I hope they do something extra, and I think they did. They got a little extra. Let's just put it like that. And just now that I'm here, I'll just give y'all like a quick little trailer breakdown for y'all who haven't seen it. But it definitely felt more so like this one. This is an actual movie this time, just not just a TV show. And that it was exactly what I was saying they needed to do. Like it definitely felt more cinematic than just watching it on Disney Plus. And I was hoping that when the movie actually does come out and we go see it, I would have been pretty upset if I go see it and it's just a glorified episode of The Mandalorian, like I said. So I think the trailer was really good. Apparently the first 17 minutes was really good too, and it got way more people on board than who were already on board. So I think that's a step in the right direction for The Mandalorian and Grogu. So moving on from The Mandalorian and Grogu, then we're going to talk about Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5 is another big one that I don't think I'm really going to have to give too much information on. It's fucking Toy Story. Do I need to give too much information on it? Like y'all saw the trailer. I'm sure y'all did. The trailer got a lot of views. But I didn't hear anybody say, I didn't hear anybody say that, they showed like 15 minutes or they gave us a new trailer. But I know Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, who are Woody and Buzz, they did come out on stage and gave like a quick little rundown of, just them playing the characters for so long. I think the first one came out in 95, the year I was born. But they just pretty much went down, the history of them playing the characters, what it takes to play these characters and how beloved that they are. So I didn't hear anything about them playing, like a 15-minute thing or like a extra couple of clips from the trailer. I didn't hear anything like that. So I'm assuming they just pretty much, and it's Toy Story. They're going to let their nuts hang. It is what it is. All of them are billion-dollar movies. They don't really need to market much. Like the kids it's one of those 4-quadrant movie things that I told you guys about. You're going to get the kids, you can get us, you can get the men, you can get the women, you can get the older people. It's one of those type of films. So you don't really need to market that one that much. So that one was understood. So let's move on from Toy Story 5 and get into a movie. I had never heard of this. I didn't hear anything about this. I don't know who's casted in it. But from the description of the shit that they said that happened in CinemaCon, bruh, I'm on fucking board. And this movie is called Whalefall. Yes, whale like a whale that swims in the ocean. It's called Whalefall. And so essentially, the premise of this movie is there's a character, and his dad gets lost at sea. And this character, like I said, I don't know who it is, I don't know the name, I don't know who's playing him, or whatever the case may be. But this character goes out and tries to find his dad who's been lost at sea. And somehow, some way, the fucking character ends up getting caught in the middle of a fight between a giant sperm whale. So I don't know if this is like the actual size of a sperm whale or like this one kind of like a Moby Dick kind of thing. But he gets caught up in a fight between a sperm whale and a giant squid. And from what I know, it sounds crazy and a little, comic booky or crazy or whatever. But dog, the description of, of what they showed, it sounds like it's gonna be like fucking crazy, like crazy. Like I've even heard people saying like the effects that they put in whatever that shot was, it's like award-winning worthy. So I'm definitely excited for that one. I think that's all they showed. And I will say, bro, that's a dumb fucking title. Cause once I heard, I'm like, Whalefall. I even saw like the picture. Cause like before, well, I don't know if all the panels do it, but I know Disney did it for sure. Like they'll show what their slate is for the next movie, or not the next movie, but the next year for their movies. Maybe sometimes even like 2 years. They put like pictures of all the logos of all the movies. And I did see Whalefall. I'm like, what the fuck is Whalefall? Is that like some Pixar? What is that? And I didn't even like the logo. Damn sure didn't like the title. But now that I'm hearing about what the movie might be about, I'm like, dawg, y'all couldn't think of nothing better than Whalefall? Like, do y'all remember the Halle Berry movie Moonfall? I'm not even gonna get into that bullshit. But this one is called Whalefall. Like I said, it's a dude. I don't know if I don't know if he even gets swallowed by the whale. I don't know if it's like a Jonah. I don't know. But they say that scene is like horrifying. Like I even heard one dude say he saw Jaws and like grew up with Jaws. Like he was old enough to go see it in theaters when it came out. And he said that didn't necessarily make him scared to get into the water. Kind of like how the film portrayed, like, you'll never want to go to the beach again, or whatever they said. He said after seeing this shit, he don't never want to go out in the ocean again. So, I mean, I don't know. Take that how y'all want to take it. That's just what I heard. I'm really excited for this one now. And keep this on y'all radar. I'm sure once we get a trailer, I'll talk about it more. Once again, that was a dumbass title. But anyway, moving on from Whalefall. And this is the last movie that we're going to talk about. They held this one to the end. I'm sure y'all know where I'm going with this one. This one was for Avengers Doomsday. They finally put together a full trailer for Avengers Doomsday. Mind you, we haven't gotten it yet. I was checking on Threads and checking on Instagram, checking YouTube. The description came out for the trailer, but nothing else has came out. And from what I'm hearing, anybody that tried to record the shit at Cinemacon, they was booting you the fuck out of there. They was grabbing you by your shirt collar and pulling your ass out of there. They wasn't playing. So that's why we haven't got a leak yet. I know they do that sometimes, and maybe even at Comic-Con, but I feel like shit leaks at Comic-Con all the time. I don't really see a lot of leaks at Cinemacon. I never have. You probably never will, because from what I'm hearing, they don't play that shit there. They will get you and boot you the fuck out of there. So we did get a description of the trailer. I didn't write down any notes because I was just in awe of what the fuck I was hearing. It was blowing my mind. So I'm going to try to just go off of memory from what I heard. First, I do want to get into a quote that it says that Dr. Doom says in the trailer. He says, "Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision." For all y'all to know what incursions are, and all y'all to know that what Secret Wars is based off of, if y'all saw Infinity War and y'all remember how that movie ended, I'm not even going to say nothing else. If you saw Infinity War and you saw how that movie ended, how we was like, what the fuck just happened? This quote, and I'm going to say it one more time. Doom says, "Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision." Please go out and read. If I don't know if y'all are comic readers, I am. It's not a lot of comics that I would suggest to people that are into comics, but I would suggest this. You might want to go read Secret Wars, because it's some shit that happened in that book, or in those books. So it's a collection of different runs from different artists and everything they put together just to make the Secret Wars run. But it's some shit, and there are literal decisions that are made that's going to make you question the morality of a lot of characters. Some people do some things, some very morally gray things. Some shit is like, bro, what the fuck? You about to do what? So hearing Doom say that kind of like confirms my thinking. And the movie is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Okay, I'll put it like this. Do y'all remember when Star-Lord decided to slap the shit out of Thanos when it was just about to get the Infinity Gauntlet off his hand? Remember how mad we was at him when he did that bullshit? The characters who may do some shit in this movie, I'm not gonna give too much. it's gonna way dwarf whatever we was mad at Mr. Quill for. It's gonna be way worse than that. Way worse than what Star Lord did. So I'm just preparing y'all for that now. I'm prepping y'all for that now. But I think there's one scene where Thor has like a 1-on-1 with Doom, and Thor like swings his axe. He swings Stormbreaker at Doom, and Doom, from what they say, just catches shit with like he just catches the axe with like 3 fingers. Like, nigga, get your shit out of here, and he just catches it. So that's one that I'm excited for. One scene I'm excited to see. There's another scene where Thor, once again, and it seems like from what I'm hearing, Thor like pretty much takes over the whole trailer. This is all about Thor. But there's another one where Thor's like walking down a hall, like a dark hall, and he sees a character down the hall. Like, he doesn't know who it is, and he's like, I know that's not who I think it is, essentially. And just like Infinity War, once again, it's Captain America with the beard and the long hair, from like what they say. So I don't know if they just plucked him from that timeline. I know this is gonna be real tricky with timelines and shit in Doomsday. So I don't know if they just plucked that one from here and put him in. I don't know. But apparently Thor's like, there's no way that you're back. Like, there's no way that you could possibly be alive. And then Captain America like holds out his hand and then gets either I don't know if he has Mjolnir or Stormbreaker, but he pretty much just puts out his hand to prove that he's Captain America for real and takes the shit from Thor. So that's another one in the trailer. What else? I think that there's another scene they say where Shang-Chi is having a 1-on-1 with Gambit. We all know both of them got hands, so I want to see him throw down. Gotta see that. There's another one where I think they said it's either Professor X or Magneto, or maybe both of them are even together, and they're watching like the X Mansion be destroyed. What else happened in the trailer? Like I said, I didn't write notes down because I was just hearing people breaking down like, what the fuck? Wait, what's going on? So that's another one. I think this says there's another clip where the Invisible Woman, she's holding like a big like wave of water. Like, so I don't know what the fuck that's about. She's holding like a big wave of water, like trying to keep it from, I don't know, drowning everybody. I guess kind of close to how Doctor Strange in Endgame kind of had like a very similar thing. He was holding like a big wave of water. So I guess it's similar to that. I don't think is there anything else I could possibly think of for Doomsday? Apparently Doctor Doom, he has like an accent. So I'm curious to hear, like, I don't know if it's gonna be like a Bane type of thing. You know, you got the mask on, so I don't know if his voice is gonna be muffled, kind of like Bane. But yeah, they say he has like an accent. I mean, he's from Latveria, which is I think like a Middle Eastern country, or European country, I should say, not the Middle East, but a European country. So I don't know if he has like a European accent. I don't know. So I'm kind of curious to hear that because I was always wanting to hear like what would a true Doctor Doom voice sound like on the big screen. Because for the original Fantastic Four movies and the remake of the not the remake, but the reboot of the Fantastic Four movies, he always just had like a normal dude voice. It's like, oh yeah, but he got a Doom mask on. I'm like, I can't really take him seriously. So I'm hearing that he has like his own little voice thing going on, Robert Downey Jr. So I'm hoping it's something that can be rivaled with Bane, because we all love the Bane voice. So I'm hoping Doctor Doom has his own thing going on. But that's everything I can think of off the top of my head of the footage and the trailer. From what everybody talked about, and I actually also heard that they played the trailer one time. I think they talked about the movie a little bit more, and then they end up running it back and playing the trailer again, running it back from the top. So I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for it. If they had a full trailer at Cinemacon, I'm telling y'all, we should probably expect this in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I think we're gonna get that soon. Like I said, how the fuck could I forget? How could I forget? They didn't move the release date, y'all. So it looks like we're still getting Doomsday. It still said December 18th. And I told y'all, I said, if Cinemacon rolls around and it still says December 18th, y'all should just go ahead and book it. If there was ever a time to move the movie up or whatever the case may be, they would have did it this past week. So far, so good. I think it's maybe like a 5% chance that they moved the date up now. I was waiting. I was hoping that they didn't move it up. And it looks like so far we are still getting Doomsday. How the fuck could I forget that? How could I forget that? But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to talk about for Doomsday, and that does wrap up the Cinemacon coverage. Like I said, there was a shit ton of movies that they talked about at Cinemacon. I pretty much plucked all the ones that I was interested in, and I think that you guys will be interested in. And I just took a bunch of notes. I don't know if y'all saw, but I wrote like 1,000+ words of notes. And I figured that this episode would go really long. We are already at 59 minutes, so this is by far my longest episode, and I hope y'all enjoy it. But that's all my Cinemacon coverage. I'm sure a lot of this shit that we didn't get to see is gonna spill out onto the internet in the coming weeks. We probably gonna get more trailers for all the stuff that was talked about, and I'm sure I'm gonna talk about a lot of this as well in the next couple of pods. Because, like I said, Cinemacon is the most, not one of, is the most important movie industry moment of every year. Every year they do Cinemacon, I'm probably going to do my Cinemacon coverage every year moving forward. But every year that they do Cinemacon, that is the most important week in the industry. Full stop. Nothing else. That's why this episode is as long as it is. And that's why I was waiting. Like I'm always waiting. It's probably my favorite time of the year when it comes to movies. And I had to give you guys the best coverage that I feel like I could possibly give you. So that sums up everything that I got excited for Cinemacon. I want you guys to let me know. If you listen to this long ass episode of the pod, which movie jumped out to you? Was it Wellfall with that bullshit title, but sounds like it's gonna be good as hell? Was it the Sheep Detectives? Was it the Doomsday? So like, what were you guys excited for, and what did you hear from my breakdown of the Cinemacon coverage? What were you guys excited about, and what are you guys excited to see? Did any of these breakdowns that I gave you make you more excited for certain movies? Please just go in the comments, let me know, and we'll go on from there. So now that we are done with the Cinemacon coverage, I actually got a question of the day. Somebody went into the comments and left one. Just to remind you guys, if there's something that you guys would like to hear my thoughts on, or you'd like to have a conversation about, go down in the comments of any one of the videos, and if you can, try to type out question of the day, semicolon, and then put in your question. If it's film related, it doesn't matter what it is. If it has anything to do with movies, like your favorite movie, or hey, Luce, do you think this movie is better than this movie, or do you think this movie a bomb? Or if you just want my personal opinion on a movie, like what's my favorite movie or something like that, if you don't already know, go down in the comments, let me know. Just type question of the day, semicolon, and put whatever the question is. And if I feel like it's something we can have a good discussion about, I may put it in one of the future shows. So today, look at me, I'm stumbling on my words. It's been a long ass pod, so I'm sorry, y'all. We about to get finished. Okay, the question of the day for today is, and this is coming from Sweet Tea Bags. I actually like that name. I think it's a funny name. But this is coming from them. And they said, with the Michael movie already being so controversial, do you think it will still break box office records? So, since I've made my box office episode a couple of episodes ago, I did think about it more. I do think that this movie is still probably going to be the highest grossing biopic of all time. I do. I still think it's going to do that. But I don't think it's going to make as much money as I thought it would. Because I thought this would probably 1.1 billion. That's probably what I was earlier. That's probably what I was suggesting before. I probably think it would have been like a 1.1 billion. Maybe if everything goes good, 1.2. But my thing is, I don't think the controversy around the movie is going to take away from the box office as much. Because I really don't. Like from what I'm hearing online, yeah, I see every now and then somebody saying like, oh, how could they make a movie about him or this, that, and the third. But for one, a lot of the stuff that went on in Michael's life that was controversial, since we're on the topic, didn't happen until way later in his life. And this movie doesn't even touch on that era of his life. So even if they do eventually get to that, it's not even going to be in this film. So anybody who has a problem with it, they probably just have a problem with the idea that he's getting a biopic made in any way, shape, or form. But they're not even going to touch on that in this movie. So I think a lot of people who may feel weary about that, I could ease how you feel about it just by letting you know that a lot of the stuff that you may feel a way about or maybe look at Michael a different way about, it's not even going to get touched on in this movie. So I think anybody, and I think it's a small minority. I don't think it's a big group online that's saying, I don't want to see the Michael movie because of this, that, and the third. I'm not seeing a lot of people talking about it. I've for sure seen it, to be completely honest, but the vast majority wants to see this movie. We grew up with Michael. We love him. We knew he had shit going on, but a lot of these people in these biopics had all kind of shit going on. They got movies. We didn't really hear all that. A lot of controversial people have had movies made about them. We didn't hear it. I find it funny that we're hearing this with Michael. You can kind of get where I'm going with that. But I don't think the controversy is going to take away from the box office, to answer your question. But I do think what could take away from the box office is just the fact that we got so many major movies out right now. And that's why I'm kind of going back and forth with how good the movie's going to do. Because we have Project Hail Mary, which actually was announced at Cinemacon. They're extending the release window for it. So I don't know if you guys know, but I'll just school you, give you a little bit of game. But the usual or average, I should say, as far as the days, amount of days for a theatrical run for a movie, I should say, is usually 45 days. Back in the day, when we was growing up, the window would be 90 days, but they actually chopped it in half and it's 45. Actually, it's even gotten so small as to 15 days for some films, but that's kind of few and far between. But it looks like they went back and then extended the Project Hail Mary run for 90 days instead of just 45 days. So that's more people going to see that. You got Super Mario Galaxy out. People are still going in busloads to go see that shit. Then you have Michael coming out, of course. But I think with Michael coming out and then The Devil Wears Prada 2 right behind it, Michael's going to be fighting a lot of movies. And I didn't really think about it like I should have until now. I'm like, damn, Michael's really going to have a lot of competition going on. So I don't think just because of that, if that wasn't the case, I think Michael would have for sure blew the doors off of everything that's out in the theaters right now. But with me thinking about that, like I said, the controversy thing, I don't think is really going to take away from Michael's box office, to answer your question. But I do think just the amount of competition that it has right now could take away from it, because people aren't going to go see 5 movies. They're going to pick one movie and go see it. And a lot of people may pick Mario. A lot of people might pick Project Hail Mary, because a lot of people are still going to see that. It crossed the $500 million mark, by the way. I told you guys it's going to be a high earner. Told you guys, warned you guys. But so yeah, you got Project Hail Mary, you got Mario, you got Devil Wears Prada, and Michael all at the same time. I don't know. Michael might have a little showdown, a little Super Smash Brothers, since we're talking about Mario, a little Super Smash Brothers match going on. But yeah, just to answer your question again, I don't think the controversy is going to take away from the box office. I just think the sheer amount of competition is going to take away from the box office of Michael. But I still think it's going to do pretty good. I'm talking about Theo, like I'm Mike Tyson. But I still think the movie is still going to do pretty good. I'm still excited to see it. I can't wait. I think it's this week. We finally get to go see it, and definitely hyped about it. So yeah, like I said, once again, guys, if you have a question of the day or a question you just want to ask me and you want me to put it in our question of the day segment, go down in the comments, put it in there. And if I think it's good enough, I think we can have a conversation about it like we just did. I'll probably put it in the show. But that is going to wrap up today's show. We are now at like an hour, 5-6 minutes. This is going to be a long one. So for all y'all that was saying like, oh, do a longer pod or whatever, I finally fucking gave y'all one, okay? Finally gave y'all one, an hour-long pod, and I was really excited to talk about Cinemacon. Like I said, it's something we all look forward to. If you're a big movie fan, we all look forward to Cinemacon, because we get all kind of juicy details and all the movies that we're excited and love and want to hear more about, and that's what Cinemacon is. If you can't go, I'm gonna try to get in that motherfucker one of these days. I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna put in the work, make sure I deserve to be there. But that's my Cinemacon coverage. We went over the question of the day. It's been a good pod. Let me know how y'all guys thought about it. Let me know if y'all want me to do longer pods like I'm doing now, or if you like the shorter, 20 to 30 minute pods. Just let me know. I want to really make this pod a real community where we can all talk movies and it's, just chit chat about the shit that we love, which is the film industry and films themselves. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Like I said, it's a long one. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. And until next time, peace.